What's up, everybody? It is February 28th and it is beautiful outside. Here we are in Georgia, and gosh, it feels like 75, maybe 80 degrees today. Still no leaves on the trees, but I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. So it's been a while since I've posted. I just put up a video about the diesel pump, UK injection pump that I installed on the engine. I actually took that a while ago. I wanted to catch you guys up on what has happened since. I received a lot of parts from Diesel Pump UK, and man, this stuff is beautiful. Here is the twin scroll billet manifold, and I had it powder coated, or I'm sorry, ceramic coated. And guys, this is a top-notch piece. The welds, the finish, the design, very, very impressed with this. And here is, so I ordered the race kit. Also had the turbo powder coated. Got a Borg Warner here. Not powder coated, I'm sorry, I keep saying that. It's ceramic coated. Really, really nice. Got a whole mess of parts in from them. Some gaskets, there's a belt, some Mercedes seals, some hoses. There's the clutch. And now what's going to be interesting is to see if this clutch can hold up in a racing environment. You know, in the race car I use a ceramic clutch, a McLeod ceramic clutch. You know, the pucks on the little discs, the pucks on the clutch discs are actually ceramic. They're not organic. That's for extremely high heat and, you know, 1,000 foot-pounds of torque the thing can handle. So I'm going to see, I guess we'll find out if this thing can hold up. What else do we get in? Oh, so the other thing I have done is finished the front in-tracks suspension. I finished the front in-tracks suspension, and nothing's tightened down yet. I just have the factory bolts all put back in place. Lower control arms, and everything is in place. The reason I was waiting on this, see the plate along the top? That's the camber plate, and let me see if I can lower this with one hand here. Show you here. All right, that's probably low enough. So here we go. This is that's the bolt-in camber plate into the strut tower. It's 3 Allen bolts with some nylock nuts, and you know, you adjust these and you can move the camber. But I had to wait on these round plates that bolt right up into the factory location, because what originally came, here we go, these were the camber plates. Now these, you notice they're not round, but these, now I'm coming from the top, these actually go from the bottom, but these would not fit into the stock strut tower. These are designed to work with the weld-in camber plates, and which are right here. And these weld-in camber plates, you know, there we go, you know, they'd go on top of there, but these are welded in. So, but what would have to be done in order to make that fit into the strut tower, about 1 inch of the strut tower, starting I guess about 1 inch down from the top, would have to be cut off, because these are too wide to fit all the way in there, and then these would weld it on. And to be honest with you, that was more work than I wanted to do. I got these for fear of the strut tower not being strong enough and cracking, because you see some talk about that on the internet. But man, I don't know. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. I'm going to try it out and see what happens. If I experience any cracking, I'll cut it off and weld in those camber plates. But that's what I've been up to. So you can see the Allen heads under there. And this is just it's just sitting in the lower control arm. And this camera's getting, there we go. And this right here is an adjustable spring rate. You can twist this and it changes ride height, but also adjusts the spring rate. So what I'm going to do today is go ahead and finish installing the factory Mercedes replacement tie rods, and I got a steering shock there. I got a center link right there. I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. And next week, the rear end is supposed to be here. And then this rear end will be ready to go in the car. What I am... Oh, and I resolved the issue with the rear control arms. See, that's a sleeve Mercedes puts in one of the rear control arms in order to adapt a 10mm bolt to this hole, which I originally thought that was a 13mm hole, and it turns out this is a 1/2-inch bolt. That's a 1/2-inch hole. So that's interesting. There is an SAE hole on a metric or European built car, and I'm guessing the spindles Mercedes had, whoever manufactured these, they might have been manufactured by a US manufacturer. I don't know, but that's actually a 1/2-inch hole. So I had some 1/2-inch spacers. Here's a spacer here. Ground control, these are all 12mm, but down here on these lower ones I had some 1/2-inch spacers made, so a 1/2-inch bolt could go through here and bolt into there. The other thing I'm looking at is these rubber bushings here are how you bolt the rear end. These go into the rear cover plate of the differential, how you bolt it into the rear subframe. And these are original old rubber mounts, so there's a part number on here. So I'm probably going to order some new ones, because again, this is a racing situation, no reason to have a 30-year-old bushing there. I'm not sure what it's going to take to get these out. They're obviously pressed in there some way. So I'll probably look at doing that. Those are not provided by Strongflex, who provided all their bushings for the rear end. Also, you have this piece here. And again, there's a part number very faintly written. It looks like, I can't really read it. I'll see if oh, there it is. It looks like there's a part number. Sorry for the cameraman. Part number written there, but this actually bolts to the front of the differential to hold the front. Basically, it mounts the front to this rear subframe. And I'm going to look at maybe replacing this old bushing here. So anyway, I'm going to get started. Just replace these links today, and I'll keep you guys updated. I just finished installing the let's see, the center link, the steering shock absorber. You can see I marked them in white, so I remember that I did torque them. Put little white marks on them. There's the new tie rods out here. There you go. Torque these down. Alright, so just to check, I torqued that one, this one, this one. I've got, there's the tie rod there. Just make sure I didn't forget anything. That one, that one, that one, and that one. And we already looked at that one there. Here's all the old, and here's why I changed this. I had 100,000 miles on it. Look at that. See how easy that moves back and forth? That's worn out. Yeah, there's no resistance. Tie rod, oh no, look at that. That is a worn out tie rod. This one, the boot was all cracked. And that's why you replace these things, guys. Anyway, so coming along nicely. There's the front end. I just need to put my little sway bar bracket back on there, and I just shot these with some paint. Alright, so I'm back in the garage today, and let's see, the rear end and the transmissions came in. I'm using the BMW, let's see, it's the BMW DZ, 37DZ, I can't remember the model number, but I went ahead and got two of them because you can only get them in Europe, and it's hard to find them in the States, so I just grabbed two because they're cheap, and supposedly these can hold up really well to a higher horsepower and torque engine. And now what I'm working on now is the rear end. So I had Luke at Diesel Pump UK send me the, I think, let's see, this is the 210 millimeter rear end versus the I think 180. I can't remember what the exact numbers are. There's the original rear end and axles, and here's the new rear end, and he put in the limited slip. I think you say Quaffy. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Anyway, I've got this in here, and up here too, there was some sort of rubber. This is like a rubber isolator of some sort, and those didn't look in horrible condition either. They're just hard pieces of rubber, and they're old, but I'm probably just going to leave those. Anyway, what I'm doing now is installing these are the Beefy Axles from Kangaroo, from the Kangaroo race team. What it was called, Kangaroo Racing. There you go. Thanks for holding that, Shannon. But yeah, you can see this thing slides in and out. It's got some huge, I think those are 1350 U-joints right there. And these, let's come over here and around here. I'm gonna, this, you know, bolts up into here. Let's see. There we go. Huh. There we go. Got that thread started there. So I'm going to get this thing bolted up. See if I can put another one in there. Here you can see how it looks like Kangaroo ground out some areas here so you could actually get these bolts in. It looks like that's only going to go in with a wrench because you can't get a socket on there. Alright, I've got the axle installed here. It's kind of tricky putting these bolts in, or at least tightening them. The way I would do it is I would put a pry bar down in there and then get a wrench on it and turn it, and the pry bar would actually hold it from spinning. And I don't know, these are, that's probably 20 to 25 foot-pounds. For a bolt of that size, so not much. I'd say maybe 20 foot-pounds. And I just put some Loctite on them. So this side is done here. And there we go. side is done here. Oh, what I would also do to get kind of the torque, I would put a pipe over the top of the wrench and just pull it, because you can't really get 20 foot-pounds too easy with a wrench that big. So I'm gonna go try the get the other side put on there. We got the rear end kind of somewhat put together. Axles, hubs, everything's just loosely connected. Yeah, axle, got the hub, and just I'm going to need some different spacers for some of these control arms so they fit the right bolt holes, so the bolts and everything fit. But the goal is now we're just going to try to lower the car onto the rear end and see if we can just kind of put the rear end in with it on this workbench here.
Coming on down now.
I'll just kind of get it lined up. It looks like it's lined up. I mean, dude, that looks like dead center lined up. That's crazy. How did we manage that? All right, let's see what happens. I'm just going to crawl under here while you're doing that.
Okay, so we've just installed the sway bar right here. And what we had to do was order 22 millimeter bushings so we can fit the 22 millimeter sway bar.
Sweet.
Where we got the bushings from was, what was it called?
Strong Flex.
Strong Flex.
Yeah, the yellow
These right
ones.
here, that's why they're yellow. They're from Strong Flex.
So you're going to help us put in the rear,
Suspension.
yeah, the rear assembly here. Tell me when to stop. Hey,
Oh yeah, if something goes wrong.
get under there, Shannon. See if they line up. Video it. Now it's coming down. There you go. See what we're trying to line up?
Yeah, it
We're
looks
trying to line up these right here. Trying to line these up, and then we're just going to lower the car onto it, and then put these bolts underneath it.
I think it should come back towards Alexander.
Oh, man. All right, watch your head, baby. Tell me when, Alex.
Hold on, because the drive shaft is gonna wanna. I gotta bring it back a little bit because that drive shaft is gonna wanna.
Oh, it is gonna wanna. It's gonna wanna.
Gonna wanna do that.
We need to take that drive shaft out?
How's that gonna work though? Because once you take the drive shaft out,
Oh.
it goes back in.
We have to tilt it up, don't we?
Oh, and I can line it up into that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Lined up?
Just about. Keep coming down. There it is.
Oh.
There it is. Oh yeah, it's lined up all right.
But now it's gotta go forward.
Yeah, as you bring it down, it's gonna lower and come down forward.
Alright, but the sway bar, there we go.
Yeah, bring that up.
Ooh.
Bolts are out of the way. Might need to pull the brake out of the way. Man, I'm gonna come down just a hair more, alright?
Okay. Hold on, I gotta scoot this end over a little bit.
Yeah. Can you get it over?
That drive shaft has bolts in it that gotta come out.
Yeah.
I got those. Okay, so after some finagling, we figured out why this bolt wasn't going in. It was because there was a lot of the blue Loctite residue from Mercedes was up in there, so we cleaned it out and that bolt threaded in smoothly. But the 210 millimeter rear end is in. Let me go around here. There we go. With the aftermarket Kangaroo Let me adjust that. The distance between, there we go, sorry. The distance between the holes is a little wider. It's like a bigger, I don't know what you call this, a bigger flange. And so this factory E300, these holes, like this one, let me turn this brightness down. There you go, this one, and this one, that star pattern there, from here to here, they're actually spaced a little farther apart on this rear end. So we had to remove that to get everything to go in there. And just taking a look. So I got to find the right size flex disc to use with this rear end. Also, here is the sensor that was plugged into the old rear end right here, and it plugged in on this side. However, on this rear end, it looks like it plugs in on this side. So I don't know if that's going to reach over there. Yeah, that's not going to reach. I'm not sure. I guess that's a speed sensor or something like that. And that's going to have to be moved over to this side. Not sure how that's going to work. But anyway, it's in there. So still a lot of work to do, but making progress. The sway bar, big 22 millimeter sway bar, is also mounted. And we put some washers because it required, you know, the sway bar was thicker, and so we put some washers here to space it down, the bracket, a little bit. You can see on that side too. And still got to put the rear control arm in, but I got to get these bushings pressed out here so I can put the strong flex bushings in there. So anyway, the build's coming along, slowly but surely. Here is the latest update. The rear suspension is complete. I got the in-track suspension in here. Let me get the light adjusted here. There we go. Got the shocks. Just got the shocks in there. This is ground control. Rear sway bar. Sway bar end link. That is a let's see, Kangaroo's hub and axle, and those are ground control arms. I really like the design of the ground control upper control arm. See how it's got a bend in it? So the bend is so that it clears the sway bar under suspension compression. And the N-Trax springs are cool. This is the, I can remove this and undo the lock nut and swivel this and actually change the rear spring rate. So that's really cool. And that all fit up in there. I had to do a little modification on the rubber isolator that went right here because it wouldn't quite fit in the factory position on the 124. So I had to take a die grinder and like make the hole a little bit bigger. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here is the factory isolator on a 124. This sits up in the spring pocket, and the spring goes in this part right here. Well, the hole on the N-Trax piece that was provided was just a little too small, so I had to hit it with the die grinder. You can see all the rubber pieces, but anyway, I just had to make the hole a little larger. Not a big deal. So there she is. Finally done, man, and got everything adjusted the right length. All the control arms are exactly the same length as the factory control arms right now. This upper one's going to be tricky, but you can see right here, there is a gold nut. There we go. There's a gold nut and a silver nut. nut is a lock nut, and the gold nut actually, you can turn it and it lengthens. Here we go, I wrote loosen that way and loosen that way so I could remember. And it'll actually adjust the camber. It'll push it out or pull it back in. Right now it's all the way in, so I might need to readjust that with it, put it back on the car with it out some so we can account for negative camber. Not sure, that'll happen when I get to the alignment shop. The next thing is to figure out what's going on here, because this is out of a gas engine 124, and it's the bigger 210 millimeter diff. So the plug is on this side for the speed sensor, but on here it's on this side. So I don't know if this is because this is from Europe or what, but I'll have to figure out how to get the speed sensor over here. I don't know if that's a wire that I can just cut and lengthen. I'll have to do some research on that. And then I took out you can see I had to take out the factory flex disc because it's way too thick to go back in there. Well, not way too thick, but just ever so slightly. Here's an aluminum flex disc that I've ordered to possibly mount on a Spicer 1350 U-joint here, then bolts to the Mercedes bolt pattern back here. So I found that from like a Jaguar shop. Maybe I can post the link. Anyway, I'm done for tonight, and just wanted to show this to you guys. That is some serious rear end components. This is going to be a sick car on the track. Anyway, thanks for watching.